course, SWGs planned a massive boycott of Ghost of Yotai. Okay, we all know, we have seen all the posts, and they're still trying to still claim that Ghost of Yotai is this big flop, but it really isn't. Of course, it is probably isn't selling as much as Sony probably hoped it did, obviously, as well here. But, again, with Ghost of Yotai, when you look at the physical UK charts that they're talking about how no one's buying Ghost of Yotai in the UK. Again, most stores don't even sell physical games anymore. Yeah, most stores in the UK don't even sell physical games anymore as well here. Same thing with, how it's selling very well on the PlayStation Store as well. Ghost of Yotai editions reached the top 1 or 2 of the pre-order charts. But we're told time and time again by SOAGs that there's no interest or hype for this game because, it offends us because the character isn't, attractive enough to them as well. Absolutely sad and pathetic that they really believe that, there's so many failed boycotts by SOAGs very recently because, yes, they won in 2024, but it's kind of like the boomerang, okay, with the Disney boycott. 2023, there was a massive Disney boycott, and they were successful. Every Disney movie released in 2023 underperformed severely, and Disney was panicking, so they delayed every single controversial movie to 2025, and made sure it was only movies that people wanted to see, and guess what? That's what happened in 2024. And 2025, Disney still struggled because, again, they basically delayed all of the controversial movies as well here. And the gaming industry, it was the same thing. Okay, yes, they won technically against all of these so-called really bad games, and the boycott did work. Suicide Squad flopped and watched $300 million. Concord was the biggest flop in all of gaming. Dustborn had 2 players. And of course, like Age of Valley God, watched hundreds of millions of dollars for EA and BioWare. But it seems that this, mentality of boycotting every single game because the female characters are not attractive enough to them, that they're not goonable enough to them, is really showing the cracks as well here. Okay, as well. Another failed boycott they have tried to do is the Type AB boycott, which every single, major game that had it, they tried to say, please don't buy this game because Disney Mount Final Fantasy, but guess what? Those games sold well regardless of the massive boycott. Same thing with Ghost of Yotai. This might be the first game where people just don't care about the protagonist's work, and people trying, the general public, which I know SOGs will try to claim that the general public doesn't play video games as well. And yes, I don't think the game is going to sell well as, a game like Ghost of Tsushima, considering how expensive games are now. Most people can only afford a couple games a year, but the vast majority of people who bought the game said they liked Ghost of Yotai. No one says, oh yeah, I'm going to give this game a 0 out of 10 because the woman's boobs are not big enough as well, okay? Yeah, no one said that, okay, in the reviews. No, there was no negative user reviews of people who actually bought the game. And I think, the game is probably selling very well for Sony as well. And SOGs really believed that this massive boycott over the girl having a big pair, not having a big pair of boobs, was gonna, really impact the sales of the game. When, see, really just looks like your average Asian woman, and these people, of course, rivet over that, obviously, as well. Goodbye.